Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler 2 with me and you heard 37. So Air Hauler 2 has finally refreshed and built up a lot more jobs, as you can see. Last time there wasn't much here, and now we've got tons of them. And I was looking around, and we actually have this one over here. This is Greenbrier Valley. This is in Lewisburg, West Virginia. And of course it gives me the one I don't want. Can I see the accepted ones? Yeah, accepted jobs. See, there's 4 of them. Now, there's 2 going to Lewisburg and 2 coming back. So what I figured we would do in this episode, we'll take one to Lewisburg and bring it back in this episode. And then in the next episode, we're going to do it again, take one back. But to make that one a little bit different, I think we'll do 2 night flights at that one. I think that would just, kind of mix it up, make it a little bit different than having 2 straight episodes of just the same flight. But they're both pretty short. One thing I did notice, so going to Lewisburg, coming back is going to be the big problem. But going there, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So it's going to take 2 flights each to do this. Now on this one, we're going to be overloaded, but and the next time we'll be under, so we'll take some commodities with us. I think as long as something pays more over there, we'll take some commodities in the next episode with it. Coming back is going to be the test. That's going to be quite heavy. It's close to 6. I don't even know if it might take a third one. I don't know. But then we would have to go back and we'd have to take a bunch of commodities. I hope this is not like 3 episodes or something. But the more I think about it, that's almost 1,600 pounds. I was estimating 1,500. So that'll be close coming back on the second one. But let's go ahead. I want to show you one other thing because I was looking at this info. So there is a reputation log here. That's what we're at right now. So it's got the graph, but there is the log. And it's very odd. Look, at this one it goes up 0.3, then 0.4, 0.3. So basically it takes 3 flights to move up 1. But then it starts like 0.07, 0.07, 0.06. I don't know why. I think that maybe the commodities, that's how they kind of keep you away from not doing too many. Instead of going up 0.3, going up a third, you go up like 0.06, 0.07, so it's not as much. Because then if you look up here, we go up 0.33 again for the jobs and not commodities. So I think that's, they basically say, you want to go for the cash? You're not going to get as much reputation. So I think that's where they kind of get you, which is cool to make it, you shouldn't just fly around commodities and make a ton of money, Anyhow, let's go over here. We'll look at some information real quick. So taking off from Charleston, we've got variable winds at 5 knots. So we're going to be taking off on runway 5, heading to 055 degrees. We've got 10 miles of visibility, scattered skies at, 4,000 feet. Altimeter 3004. And over in Lewisburg, so we've got wind at 190 at 3 knots, 10 miles of visibility, and clear skies. So we will be landing on runway 22, heading of 223 degrees. By the way, this is much higher elevation. It's basically kind of in the mountains of West Virginia. So we'll be landing, like I say, on runway 22. So we're going to go to Hadfu. Right, this says weird names. Hadfu at 6,300 feet, Arahi at 5,200 feet, and Denel at 4,100 feet. This is an RNAV approach. As you can see, the touchdown elevation about 2,302 feet. So let's go back to Air Hauler real quick. So let's go over here to the accepted jobs. I think I've already got these 2 loaded up as much as I can. Fly now with our plane. Yeah, see, I've got it loaded up. Next flight, we only have 300 pounds. As you notice, we're up by, we're a little high by 44 pounds. I don't know if I can redo this. Load it. But see, I can't, can I do part load? Maybe that's it. Part load. All right, there we go. So we've got 444 pounds. See, I was looking for that earlier, and I thought it was it asked me, do you want to load only part of it? Yeah, and then it still made me overloaded. So now we're right at the weight. So next time we'll take 344 pounds of this and some commodities. That should actually help us also on that reputation. Give us a little bit more. So this is a VFR flight. We'll fly. We got to go above 5,500 feet. We're going to have to go to like 7,500 feet. That's going to be a tough ask. We're going to have to go to like 5,500, burn off some fuel, I feel like. But we can. We're only like 64 miles. Jiminy Christmas. So we're going to have to go to 7,500. We got to be at 6,300 at Hodfu. So we can't do like 5,500. That's a problem. But we'll go up. We'll make it. We might. I think we could do it in 64 miles. It's actually going to be a little bit longer because we do have to go out to the east a little more. Let's go ahead and accept this. And with that, let's go over to Microsoft Flight Simulator. So here we are in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So yeah, it's not going to be 64 miles. It's actually going to be 81. So we got an extra 17 miles. So we've got our parking over here, but I don't think we really need to show that. We're going to be taking off on runway 5. And we'll be coming out Hodfu. Like I said, see, the two don't show up. The waypoints act kind of odd sometimes. Sometimes you got to do the first one twice and then they'll show up. On this one, only that one showed up. But Hodfu is 6,300 feet. Then Arahi will be right around in here at 5,200 feet. Dental at 4,100 feet. And then runway 22, and the elevation is 2,302 feet. Plane is already good, so let's go ahead and move on over to the plane. Here we are at the plane. Nothing really going on today in Charleston. I feel like I almost hear some jet engines, maybe not way in the background. So let's jump in here, get rid of these yokes. Come on, yoke. There you go. Let's jump down here in our view. Go ahead and turn on the batteries. Get this set off. I thought I've already clicked your warning.
Oral warning, okay.
Zoom out just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and prime the engine. The fuel selector is in both. The cutoff is pushed in. All of our breakers are pushed in. Beacon and nav coming on. So let's go ahead.
TOS system
Thank you.
Test.
Fuel
Okay.
pump coming on. Give her some throttle, and we do have fuel. Fuel pump comes off. Throttle is pushed out. Pulled out, I should say. Like I say, the beacon and nav are on. A little bit of throttle ignition here. Oh, should have had that out and pushed that in a little bit. But 'tis all good. So let's go ahead and flip on our avionics. While that's going, we're going up to 7,500 feet. It's going to be a tough climb at the end. We're going to be crawling up to 7,500, man. So let's go ahead, put that in GPS. And there's some, where is it there? Transponder. Go ahead and put that on. So I guess still no flaps, even though we are full. Let's move this. There we go. So our heading for runway 5 is 055. Is it 055 or 053? Actually, wrong way. Be quicker to go this way. Let me see one thing. From Charleston, we came in. Yeah, so it's 053 actually. On some of the earlier flights, I think I had 55. Shouldn't make too much of a difference. Taxi light coming on. Parking brake is off. Let's jump back up here. Let's start our taxi. So I think we'll come down here and then taxi on up. We could go up there and cross over as well. Burning a little fuel with the increased RPMs right there, not a bad idea. Nah, we'd have to come all the way over here. So I'm going to go back behind us. I think that's an easier way. Doesn't take us as long. See, like I was saying, I guess with the flaps, you know, normal takeoff is with no flaps. unless there's an obstacle. So I was thinking, we're at max payload capacity, but I guess you can should still take off. It didn't say anything about weight necessarily. It just said if there's an obstacle to get over, then you use flaps. So I'm not too sure. Well, we'll go with no flaps. Come down here. So I was watching the replay on that last episode of the landing, and I think we actually kind of actually bounced, look like almost like I think we may have hit the front wheels first. I couldn't tell, and it hopped just a little bit. That was because of the curvature of the runway. This runway, as you can see, like right now, we're going uphill, and so we were coming down in the opposite direction. So the runway is actually, pointed down a little bit, and we should have pulled up just a little bit more. Like I was saying, I thought on the landing when we were actually doing it, I said I actually pulled back a little more, and then we watched the replay. It was like I think the front might have actually hit first, and then we kind of hopped up a little bit. So something to pay attention on this runway. Every time we land here, depending on what direction you're coming in at. So, where do we want to take off from? I think we can take off from right here, even though we're fully loaded. Yeah, it's the end of the runway up there isn't that much further, so we'll just go here. Even though we're heavy, we should still have plenty of room here. Stop right here. Look down below. Actually, what did I just click? I hit CDI. Went right through the yoke into that. Awesome. I see no one to the left. Alright, we'll jump back in here. I'm going to cut that part out, hopefully. I was trying to see it, when I go like that, if I go real fast, it makes it all jaggedy. So, I'll cut that out so you all don't see that. I was trying to say, an FSX used to spin around a couple times to make things good. I was like, I wonder if that'd work. No, it doesn't. Anyway, no one's out here to the right. No one to the left. I don't see anyone. Don't see anyone on the screen except that guy, but he's not in our area. He's not coming over here. Landing lights and strobe coming on. Transponder. Altitude. Bring our yoke back. Reset my view. And let's go ahead and get on out of here. We'll just continue. We won't stop. I thought, we could stop and rev up the engines and then all on the brakes, but we'll just do it this way. I think we're going to have plenty. Sometimes we worry a little bit too much about having room. Alright. Here we go. Airspeed's alive. There's 60. Let's go ahead and rotate. Oh, we got all kinds of room on that runway. I can say sometimes we worry a little bit too much. Fly out 2 miles. Now see that just like in the last episode, the line is just going straight over and not curving. And we've had a problem on a couple of flights, including the last one, where it just did not want to follow the nav for a while. It would just go off into its own areas. Very, very strange. Because I was flying the autopilot on heading mode, trying to get it over there, and it just did not like it. So I put it back on the line, and it went back to nav, and it was just like, nope, we're still going to go over here. Until the very end, then it worked. Look at that other plane. That thing is booking it. Must be an airliner or something. 0.9 miles, 0.8 now. Whoa, 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 plane. Getting a little bumpy over here. I just wonder if you're in a Cessna, is it always this bumpy? Is that true, or is it just a little too much? We have hit our mark, 65.9 miles now, as we turn to the right. I should have moved the range knob on the other side. Should have moved our heading as well. Now I'm gonna have to fly left-handed for a minute. I'll put it to the right because we'll probably have to fly over towards the line. Let's move this range up to at least 15. Nah, move it a little past it. Don't really need to come this hard back to the line. Crossing paths, I think they're a much bigger plane as quick as they're moving compared to us. Looks like is somebody else maybe taking off too? Autopilot, let's go to heading mode. Vertical speed. Climb at 300 feet a minute. I believe that's what I got that set at. Yeah, 300. Probably all the way up to 7,500 feet. I don't want to climb this thing too quick, as heavy as we are. That would worry me a little bit. Now, let's see one thing real quick. If I head over to nav, let's see, is it going to fly us right over to the line, or is it going to take us all crazy? Yes, it's banking out to the left. Now, it says like it's straight going straight on, but it should bring us over to the line. And sometimes when we're on the line, you click nav and it takes you off again. It's just janky. It doesn't work as well as it did in FSX, I gotta say. It's got it pointed straight at it, but normally it would bring you over to the line. Like I say, sometimes you're on the line, you hit nav, and it banks left or right away from it. It's very janky to me. I don't like it. I'm actually going to climb a little bit quicker with our speed here. Maybe while we're down low, we should take that opportunity to climb as fast as we can. Get as much altitude as we can. We're at 3,000. Let's go ahead and click off this taxi light. Start leaning the mixture a little bit as we climb. As you can see, we are 60.8 out. And that is not from the airport, obvious. That is from, was it Hodfu or something? I don't know who comes up with the names of these. Yeah, Hodfu at 6,300 feet. So it's 3,000 feet or more. And like I say, we are going to try to get up to 7,500 feet. We'll see how that works.
Sim rate 1.
So you heard that sim rate 1. There's a little program called FS Sim Rate Bandit. It's up off my screen right now, but that is a handy little program because when I speed this thing up in FSX, it would show the sim rate. Well, it doesn't show the sim rate on here, which is a little on the annoying side. But there's a little program called FS Sim Rate Bandit, and it's just a little box. You hit it, you connect, and it actually will show your current sim rate and stuff. So you all should definitely check that out. It's very, very handy. So we're about at 85. Our speed is steadily decreasing a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and lean the mixture out a little more. And here in a second, we're going to have to go down like 400 feet a minute or so. I don't want her getting too slow. Holding steady right there at 4,000 feet. Took a look outside for a minute. And, yep, there's nothing here outside of Charleston on this side. Like I say, the other side, there actually is quite a bit all the way down through Ashland, Kentucky. Some areas, you know, more than others. There's definitely some areas where there's not a whole lot. But for a long stretch there is actually a fair amount of stuff there. But on this side, yeah, nothing. So we're still holding steady right around 85 knots or so. 4,300 feet. So I think right here we're probably good to go ahead and start speeding up, everybody. I will be back in just a little bit.
Sim rate 2. Sim rate 4. Zimway 2. Zimway 1.
All right, everybody, we're coming up on Dental, where we need to be at 4,100 feet. Actually, at Hodfu, we were slightly high, and I think maybe barely at Arahi, but now we've gotten down here in plenty of time. So next is the airport. We're about 2.6 miles out. Go ahead and hit a notch of flaps. We're getting low on fuel. It always kind of worries me. So I'm going to go ahead and set the go around altitude at 4,000. But for right now, going to vertical speed. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna let it. Let's go ahead and hit autopilot off. Reset our view. Off screen. Alright. Here we go. So the airport elevation, remember, is at 2,302 feet. It's basically 2,300 feet. So taxi light has been turned back on. Make sure back to full rich. We should be good to go. Hiding my flaps. I can't remember if I, right as I was doing that, if I would actually hit that flap notch or not. Notch of flaps. I hate having to fight with that freaking yoke, man. Could just leave it off. There we go. Much more controlled. The trim. Final notch of flaps. See that one notch of trim and it just wants to go way too far nose down. Nice wide valley. We actually lived in Lewisburg when I was very, very young. I don't remember it at all. I have been there since then, but... So as you can see in the PAPI lights, we are a little high. Are those PAPI or VASI? I can't remember if PAPI is to the side or if it even matters. When it's all four to the side or if they're 2 and 2. Trying to trim it a little better. Now we're on it.
500.
I thought we were going to get a little down, but we actually went high, but now we're back on it again. Let's try and be nice and gentle. Go off to the right. I feel like in this version of Air Hauler 2, we have flown much better on our landings and stuff. Knock on wood. Yeah, so we got a little high right there. Knew we were going to. That's alright. Alright, where's the threshold? Bring her all back. Our wheels touched and she wanted to send us straight left. We'll go ahead and get off the runway here. Wasn't too bad. It felt like we kind of pitched up and we're kind of feeling for the runway. I tried to approach it a lot slower. I mean, not a lot slower, but slower than normal. I think sometimes we come in a little quick, but that should have been pretty good right there. It was for between 60 and 65 knots as we hit the threshold. Alright, so let's go ahead and retract our flaps, get the strobes and the landing lights off. Transponder, you go back to on. Actually, I could probably just leave that there. And off the screen, do my thing. There we go. Alright, let's go park this thing. I get really worried when I see the fuel start to get in the yellow. Right after I went into the time compression, when I sped it up, it wasn't but a minute or so, and got the warnings about the low fuel in the tanks. It's like, yeah. Okay, so we'll be, probably pretty heavy. If there's commodities to bring back, well, in this episode, there's not going to be. We've got to bring as much cargo back as we can get. That's the only thing. Should we load this plane up again? I mean, you see our fuel situation. And if anything, we'd be fighting against wind as we fly back to the northwest. If there's much wind at all, we'd be fighting it the whole way. I had to be very worried. I'd like to have a little bit extra, well, I say extra fuel, but like we had almost 3 times as much. We had more than 2 times as much as supposedly. Like I say, it seems like we use more than Air Hauler says we're going to use. Our range from Air Hauler is not correct. By the way, how do we get down there to park our plane? Surely you don't follow that yellow line all the way down and around. Let me stop right here. Yeah, like, can we just... Yeah, we can just pull in, correct? Maybe on the other side of that white truck right there on my right? Right here? Like I say, it doesn't really say. Shoot through these 2 lights over here. I think we'll go up here towards the grass. Not that it matters. We're not probably gonna leave from here anyway. It's probably pretty good right there. Parking brake coming on. Avionics can go off. Taxi light, you go off. Alright, we'll go ahead and cut the engine. Transponder, you go off. Yes, I know, the engine is off. Is that what you're telling me? Nav and beacon go off. Magneto's off. Batteries off. And with that, we can return to air hauler. So we're back in the air hauler. When I went down to the taskbar to open up air hauler, it brings up 2 and I accidentally X'd it out. So, unfortunately, I guess we're not going to get to see how we did. Alright, so we got those. Well, while we're here, let's just go ahead and look. Well, we've got 826. Jiminy Christmas. 108 miles. It says we should make it, but I don't believe that. No, I want to go back. We left with 20 gallons. Yeah, this is not going to go well, I don't think. So if we got 20 gallons, let's load this. That's going to put us 124. So we got 748. Oy vey. It's going to take like 3 trips to get back. And I can't let the other ones do it, because then we won't get credit for it. They will, but that doesn't help us. So part load, let's just take the 724. Or X that 748. I just don't feel comfortable. 724. Oh, so we can take all that. Now we got 24 pounds. We can take up. Do it this way. A little bit quicker. So now we're full. Now see, 848 coming back one more time. Jeez Louise. Alright, so we've got that loaded back. We'll do a little landing replay here, and we'll be back in air hauler. So we're back after that landing. That didn't look too bad. I don't know if there's a way to go back into and look at our flight and actually find out how good that was. I thought in other air hauler, I thought it kind of recorded that kind of information on your flight, but I don't see anything on here that has. Yeah, I don't see anywhere where you can go and it actually tells you what it thought about the last one. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't see any way to look at that. That's all right. Let's go back over here to accepted jobs. And so we've got this already loaded up. KLWB to Kilo Lima Whiskey Bravo over to Kilo Charlie Romeo Whiskey. There's a tongue-tied just saying KLWB to KCRW. So let's go over to, well, we won't fly now just yet. Let's go look at some information real quick. All right, so for taking off at Lewisburg, the wind is now at 1403 at 3 knots. So we're going to continue and take off on runway 22, heading 223 degrees. And for Charleston, the wind is now 190 at 6 knots. It was variable, I think, at 5 or something else, 190. So we will be able to land on runway 22, heading 223 degrees. Which we have landed on that one very many a time. So we can use the ILS. What's actually runway 23? Yeah, I was looking at runway 22 on the other information for Lewisburg. So it is runway 23. So heading of 235 degrees. ILS is on 110.3. And of course, we will go over to Stilt. That's our only waypoint. We've got to be at 2,400 feet at Stilt. And then down to the runway, the touchdown elevation, 931 feet. So with that, we can go back over to air hauler. So we can go ahead and fly this KLWB. So we do have her loaded up. We have that one's a full job. And of course, with this one at 24, we're going to have to come back and get it. It's going to take 2 more. I will not do 3 episodes. I'll do the next episode where I'll take most of it, and then I'll just bring back some commodities, and we'll probably just throw that in at the end to see how much we get paid, and then maybe the landing replays and stuff like that. I don't want to do 3 flights or 3 episodes, just Lewisburg and Charleston. So our next one, like I say, is going to be what was I? Oh, we're going to do night flights on the next one. So on this one, we just got to go up to 6,500 feet. The time doesn't really matter and all that. Well, we've got this loaded up. Let's go over to Flight Simulator and get it set up. All right, so here we are in Flight Simulator. So I wish I wouldn't have had to, but, well, I do the replay, and so that moves the plane out of the area. Had I not done that, we could have actually just kept continuing where we had parked, but we've got to, since the replay moves us out, we kind of got to go and restart this whole thing. So I've got the plane loaded up. We're going to be over here at ramp 49. I think is that what I chose? Yeah, ramp 49. I couldn't even bring that up a minute ago. It's acting odd. So we'll take our parking there, text over to the runway 22, heading 223 degrees. You see this says 71 miles. I wonder if that's 71 to Stilt or 71 total. I should have looked that up. I'll look that up next time. So over to Stilt. And then over to runway 23, heading 235 degrees or 233 degrees. I believe it's 235. Down to the runway. So we've got to be at Stilt at 2,400 feet. And then, of course, we touched down, like I said earlier, the runway elevation is 931 feet. And with that, we'll go ahead and get in the plane. Here we are back in Lewisburg. It's like a nice little airport. Got these 2 ground crew guys. We don't need you. We're going to go straight out. If anything, you're in the way. Alright, so we'll say that we just got in the plane and that we're continuing, so we don't need to prime it or anything like that. Parking brake is on. Let's go ahead and turn the batteries on. Beacon and nav can come on while we wait for this.
Aural warning, okay.
Go ahead and move that off a little. It's going to come back on here in a second. I just really hate that thing. So we'll get her started up. The fuel selectors in both. Fuel cutoff is pushed in. All of our breakers are pushed in. So I should pull that out. Give it a little bit of throttle. Go ahead and
TOS system
quite
test.
get her all the way.
Okay.
There we go. Push that in. Transponder, you go to on. Turn our avionics on. 6,500 feet. And the heading will be for takeoff is 223 degrees. that real quick. 223. Let's move the range up a little. 2 clicks. Taxi light coming on. Parking brake going off. We're on the move. Sorry guys, we don't need yous. I wonder if you could take off from right there. Yeah, we're heavy. We'll go all the way down. Or to at least where we landed, came over. Would be nice to go there just for the fuel savings. It's the only thing I'm worried about. I think we had 3 gallons. I'm thinking it was in each tank. It was like 6 point something pounds in each tank when we landed. So you like 2 point something pounds or gallons or something like that. So yeah, I get a little worried, man, about this fuel. And now we're going northwest, so if there is any wind, we're flying into it. Like that one wind was what, 190 degrees? Not sure if it's coming from 190. It should actually help us a little bit. I wanted to say this was more of a crosswind. Jump out real quick. I don't know how much room we would have had over there. Whoa. Whoa, man, whoa. So, since it'll be 3 flights, the next episode, like I say, will be night flights. We'll take off and landing. And I'll probably just add into that episode the landings of the next 2 and probably show you the flight logs and the money. Because we are going to take probably a good amount of commodities. We'll take off right here. And so we should make a nice profit. These commodities will really help. Stop right here. Man, I guess we get going way too fast. We just slam on the brakes. Let's jump back up here, actually. Look to our left. I don't see anyone. Looking to our right. I don't see anyone. I don't see anyone on the screen. It's getting to interfere with us. Landing lights, strobes coming on. That goes to altitude. Alright. Rolling takeoff. I'm just trying to see how much power it takes, I guess, to move. There we go. There she starts just moving. That's at like 50% throttle, I think. Then she'll pick up some steam. Enter the runway, and we'll be out of here. Advancing the throttle. Airspeed is alive. Yeah, we got tons of runway. 60, we'll go ahead and rotate. Actually, I wonder if we had taken off right there, we may have not made it. I think we may have made it work, I don't know. Would have been close. Alright, left-handed for a second. Every once in a while I forget that. Transferring hands there, get a little crazy. 1.4 out. So I wonder if I click nav right now, what would it do? Would it take us back to the airport, or what would it do? But see, that one, now this one is curved out. Hold on. make sure that that's correct down there. 400 feet, all right. So I want to see if she will actually do it correctly here. I had problems with it on the last flight again. Then I clicked nav and she was finally flying correctly on the line. To 6,500. We're already 3,100. We can go ahead and lean the mixture a little bit. Turn off that taxi light. Now let's see if she flies on the line. She's been going well off it. Now, it could be, you know, if you move the range out, like, look where it is right there, it makes it look more accurate, but still, it was so off that it didn't feel like that's what it was doing. Let's check that range. Yeah, we're back down to 5. There we go. At 15 was the extra 25 or something? Go with that. Climb at 600 feet a minute for a minute. Get over this mountain ridge. It's not going to be a problem. You know, I was looking at her speed and was like, yeah, we could bring the throttle back. But we'll give her all she's got for a minute. We've got 2,800 feet to go. Not as severe as, you know, the 7,500 that we had to go get down here. So that is, I wonder if that is that 64? I can't remember. That comes over to Lewisburg. See, over here, that's called the Greenbrier Airport. And if you know anything, if you're probably from the U.S., or you're of any age, so it's a big, like, 5-star resort. And it's also, back in the day during the Cold War and everything, that was the spot where if Congress got evacuated, they would actually evacuate to the Greenbrier Resort down in the, I guess you could call it the basement. They had a big area for them. Of course, it's not like that anymore because it's out in the open now. I think you can actually take a trip down there and look around. You know, it's kind of cool tidbit of information. Let's get our heading fixed over here. Yeah, I don't know why sometimes it's curving, sometimes it's going straight, sometimes it flies on the line, sometimes it doesn't. It's just odd. So now those match up. 4,400 feet. Now coming up 4,500, so we'll have 2,000 to go. There's that inset again. Actually, you know what? I went through a little too quick. Or did I? Yeah, speed coming down a little bit. See if we can get 90 knots at 5,000. I'm not totally sure of the actual climbing speed. I want to say it's technically either 75 or 85 knots. But I mean, I guess do you keep that speed even when you're extremely full? It just seems like sometimes you're getting a little slow. And it'll get her to fall out of the sky. Okay, so we got 1,500 feet more to go. I'm going to go ahead and bring that down to 300 feet a minute. And pull back on the throttle just a little bit, maybe 2,500 RPM. Usually when our cruise, we get down to about 2,200, 2,300. But we're right there at the green. Well, the thing is, we use so much power because we're so full. We are a fully loaded plane. I don't think that's the resort. I think if they were going to show the resort, they would have done a much better job than that. It doesn't look like a resort anyway. It almost looks like a mine, almost a quarry or something. I was going to say maybe the next episode we could try to find it, but the next episode it's going to be dark. So that'll be a no-go. Go ahead and lower that to 200. That is 200, right? It's 400. That's right. We moved it up to 600. So there, that's at 300. 1,000 feet to go. All right, well, everybody, we've got, what, 54 miles to Stilt. So I'll go ahead and speed her up right here. We'll be back in just a little bit. All right, everybody, cutting back in here. Man, that Stilt is closer than I thought, so we just passed it. Slightly high. We're going to set this, yeah, I'll set that to 2,500. We're not going to be able to use the ILS because, well, we're already way too high. So we're going to have to cut off the autopilot. Do some stuff off screen. There we go. Man, see that Stilt from the map, when we make it, it makes it look a lot further away than it actually is. So taxi light is on. I got the fuel pushed back in. Check that. Everything looks good there. Second notch of flaps. There we go, man. We were coming up on stilts, and I was like, we're at 4x. I was like, no, we're gonna be a little high, but then all of a sudden it turned, and I still had it at 4x. I should have slowed it down. Well, that was like, we're gonna miss the ILS because right when we turned, I saw the runway in the distance. I was like, crap, that's not what we wanted. We're coming back on the glide slope now. All right. Full flaps. We're just a little throttle here. I'm back on the glide slope. I would have liked to use the ILS. All the times we've landed here, we've never really been able to use the ILS. We had a chance last time landing here, but we had just gotten off the glide slope a little too much when I was trying to hit it. We're slightly low now. Although the happy lights like it. Oh, jeez. Oh.
500.
We're getting bounced around, man, and dropping out of the sky. That happened, was it last flight or something we were landing here? We're actually right on the glide slope a little high now. Technically, we should go around after that, but, to me, it's like we've recovered well enough. Jiminy Christmas. It happened, I guess it was last flight, or last time we were landing here. Just getting knocked down to the ground, man. It does feel windy because we're still getting knocked around a little bit more than usual. Pitched up a little early, but didn't seem too bad. I'm having a hard time judging my speed coming up there. I'm trying to slow down, but not too much. Come right up here. Do some stuff off screen real quick. There we go. Strobe and landing lights can come off. Transponder, you go to on. Flaps are retracted. Go ahead and move on over to our taxi. Or taxi on over to our parking spot. Now see, we haven't even gotten a fuel and we're still on the green. Now how is it that when we went down there, we got the freaking fuel warning like right as soon as we started the time compression? It almost makes me wonder if the plane wasn't totally set up right, but I know it was because I had to do it twice because we had to redo the flight plan. So I had to redo the plane. Very odd. I'm going to go back and look at when we took off on the first one and compare it to this one if the fuel is at the same mark. Because that's it shouldn't be like that at all. Whoa. Every time we, seems like when we go over to here to park, weird things happen. Like switching the views and stuff, because I'm not touching anything. It's just doing that on its own. Stop right here. Parking brake coming on. You know, this is the only third-party airport I have installed right now. It's not the only one I have, but the only one I have installed. And I had a problem earlier with it crashing at the very beginning of the day. And when I started back up, I said, do you want to go into safe mode? I did, and it's been fine since, loading up normally, so. Taxi light can come off. The avionics are off. Cut the fuel. Cabin beacon can come off. Yes, the plane is off. I'm aware of that. Magneto's off. Battery off. So let's go over to Air Hauler and get ourselves paid. Here we are back in Air Hauler. I made sure not to hit the X this time. Have to be careful of that next time. Let's go ahead and unload that part first, because this one here is the complete job. Unload. Oh, we moved up. PPL IR. So was that private pilot license instrument rated? I'm guessing. Let's go ahead and look at our results here. Smooth. I thought that would be not. I don't think we did a good enough job for greaser. Anyway, took off with one. Well, let's see. We took off at 2021, landed at 2102. Man, it was 41 minutes. That's pretty quick. Took off with 118 pounds of fuel. See, that seems like more than what we took off with last time. So, well, we didn't get a chance to look at the thing last time either. Touchdown with 91, so we only used 27 pounds. Yeah, it's something very odd there. Max altitude 6,531 feet. Max pitch 11.2. Max roll negative 28.08. Max speed 111 knots. Minimum G 0.41. Minimum G's exceeded 0. Max G's 1.5. Max G's exceeded 0. Stall false. Overspeed false. Landing description smooth. Bituminized, what I always call it. No damage to the runway, no damage to the plane. Came down at 88.36 feet a minute. Landing speed 43.95. Landing pitch negative 5.17. So I think it was a little pitched up. That's what I was thinking. I was trying the flare and I thought we were a little bit further down than we were. Yeah, landing roll negative 4.81. Landing heading 232. Wind speed was 6. Direction 190. So let's look at this company info now. Finance. Looking good, man. So we're up, 107,000 now on the month? That's really, really, really good. I'm happy with that. Let's look at personal info. So it says PPL2 down on the thing. It said PPLIR. I guess that's personal private license. Instrument rated. Cargo jobs 8. I thought we've done more than that now. Could be wrong. It'd be nice to have another base too. I think it would give us more jobs, but we're not ready for. I don't even know if we could open another one, since our we're only we get to 40 to lease a plane. Just tell us our log right here. So overall 23.8. It sucks that brings us down, man. The passenger stuff, we can't do passengers, so it sucks that brings us down. I mean, since we've done this, we started out at 20. We're only at 23.87 now. As many jobs as we've done, and we got to get up another 17. Good night. Good night. I mean, I guess we've only done 8 jobs. The other ones were commodities, but still, daggone. If you went up 0.3 and you had to move, it's a little too hard for me. Let's bring up a calculator. So bring over a calculator so you all can see this. So if we had to move up 20 divided by 0.33. So it's 60 flights. Are you kidding me? 60 flights just to be able to lease another plane? Good night. That's crazy. Anyhow, that's going to be it for this one. The next episode, we're going back to Lewisburg and back to Charleston. Both of those will be night flights to mix it up a little bit. But that's going to be it for this episode, everybody. I hope y'all did enjoy it. I'll catch you guys on the next flight.